Hello, welcome to the Content Polymath Substack channel and podcast. And essentially, what I wanted to make this episode about is what am I doing right now? I tried to be pretty open when it comes to my strategies and my automations and what I am doing overall as a content creator. And so I wanted to just quickly, hold on, let me make sure a tab is open for you here. I wanted to quickly kind of go over what I am working on and share with you what I'm focusing going forward and how am I batching content out, what tools am I looking at, and then in the actual written portion of this post, I'm going to share a whole bunch of YouTube videos that I'm also learning from. So I have a whole list of videos I'm just going to basically burn through to learn a new skill, or really relearn a skill that I had practiced or learned about years ago. So first and foremost, I got back from VidSummit about a week ago, and I met a lot of really cool creators there, but also a lot of really cool companies. And while I had already known about like Firecut, for example, for ages, I never got a chance to really use it, either due to the pricing or just due to the fact that it was Premiere only. Now they have DaVinci, and they got DaVinci right before VidSummit too, which is probably why they were there, so they can promote it too. And since I use DaVinci pretty much all the time, I figured like I don't have Premiere, I don't have the access to Premiere. If Adobe were to like sponsor me, work with me, then maybe I'd switch over. But for now, I'm mainly just using Premiere, so I had to wait till they had the not Premiere. I'm using DaVinci Resolve, so I had to wait till Firecut came with that plugin. So this is not like an official video in the series or podcast. If you're listening in, this is going to be a much more visual heavy episode, so I would definitely probably go watch the video. And so I'm going to still release it on the audio because I'm going to talk about everything I'm doing. And so the first thing I'm going to share with you is something I don't necessarily like sharing as much, like when it comes to my big bodacious plans, okay? So I ran out of written posts when it came to my written platforms, like the microblogging platforms. And what I wanted to do was actually start making more content about how to be a content creator, because obviously I'm focusing on this Substack and podcast and YouTube channel. And I wanted to start making more posts daily. And this is what I decided to do. A while back, and I mean like 1 or 2 years ago, I came up with a whole bunch of prompts for ChatGPT to come up with ideas, mind you, they're just ideas, to help me like, hey, here's what I can talk about. And so on this side here, I'm scrolling through my database, and ignore the numbers for now, but essentially these were all just like different ideas that it came up with, like here's the future of content, or like discuss where the industry is headed. It's just an idea. And then what I'm doing is actually going through each one individually and turning it into, let me find the up arrow. Where is it? Okay, I guess there's no up arrow. So turning it into an actual post versus just leaving it as like a basic prompt. Because it's basically, I prompted it to give me prompts. And then what I was going to do is actually turn all these into short form videos. Before I started making clips, I would just try to make them from scratch. And I still think I'm going to, because I already have a ton of clips that I'm making from these solo videos, but I have all these different prompts, and they're all going to be written into, I would say, lengthy, probably threaded posts. And then I also had an idea where I could go through all of my clips that I've made in recent months and essentially transcribe them and turn them into written posts as well. And so that's kind of an interesting dynamic here. Maybe I should make a full post about this. I was going to, but I figured there's only so much information I can share. So I was like, I'm not going to make a whole video about it, but I wanted to start off this video with this premise. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm taking all of these written post ideas that I had, and then I'm going to record them into short form videos. And then I'm also going to take all the short form videos that I've made, repurposed in the past, but then also transcribe them and make them into written posts. So I'm literally taking one piece of micro content and another piece of micro content and making them into each other. So it's a unique type of repurposing that I think a lot of people don't talk about enough. And then the next thing I'm looking at is actually fourth wall, which I've looked at print on demand sites before and spent a lot of time looking at Printfy, Printful, Redbubble, even Shopify, and took one of their courses. However, fourth wall has got my attention. A few of the creators that I know use it, like NKBHD and even Opus Clip uses them, and I find that the products were pretty high quality, especially like when it comes to like these sweaters, for example, hoodies, And I was talking to some people at the conference about this and post-conference, and I think it's finally time for me to make my merch brand. It's one of those things where I've been putting it off for a while, especially since I didn't feel like my audience was big enough, but I think that I could also build a clothing line, like a different brand, based around this fourth wall. And you can also have like a YouTube product shop or Instagram shop. So you have all these products actually show up on your profile. So I think it's really cool. And I am trying to flesh this out. And I have I actually made like a dozen designs back in 2020, 2019, when it came to some really cool ideas for merch. And I also have the idea of doing merch for the Polymathy brand and the Creator brand under the same roof. And there's a unique way I'm doing that branding wise. And I think that that's going to be pretty cool. So I'm going to be working on that, but then I'm like, well, how do I promote this more? I'm going to make a ton of content, probably on a new profile, maybe not even announce it right off the bat. And then I also realized I could do mini chat. Again, I looked into mini chat and chat fuel back in the day, and I don't like the whole responding to DMs because I'd rather just do it myself, but auto DMing from comments, that's useful. And then sending affiliate product links like Opus Clip or even my own products, that's cool too. So this is where I'm at, where I'm like, okay, I may not mess with this too much, but this is one of those things where this will help me grow as a merch brand. So I figured this will be an interesting dynamic once I get ready for it. I'm just looking into it right now. I'm heavily looking into fourth wall, but mini chat I'm wanting to get back into a little bit more. And I mentioned Firecut earlier. It is the AI editing tool for long form content, and some of the things they can do, like first off, cutting out silence and adding chapters. And even when you add those chapters, it'll add like a little lower third to explain what's going on in the chapter. And it would just honestly help me grow the quality of my videos. Like right now, I could have like different lower thirds coming up when I switch between these different tabs and tools and make it a lot more aesthetically pleasing when it comes to the content that I'm sharing. And then the next tool, probably the final one I'll talk about today, is beacons. Again, I've known about beacons for a long time. There's plenty of link in bio tools. If you're using Linktree, stop it. I'm not even going to push you towards beacons. Stop using Linktree. There's so many better options. I was using mylinks.ai for a while because it was pretty cool. It was one of the only tools that allowed you to have like embed your Twitch stream or embed your YouTube channel and automatically upload or change when a new upload was on there. And that was really cool, but it was just aesthetic. It wasn't really functional besides just like, okay, go to my social channels or whatever. However, with beacons, you can have your links, cool. After that, this is my fourth wall. Since it's not up yet, it's kind of blank. That's not on Beacon's fault. That's fourth wall not being published yet. I have a newsletter subscription thing here. I have my affiliate links here, which I'm probably going to move these around. I'm going to change the order, but this is kind of where it's at right now. My podcast, Buy Me a Coffee, and then my latest YouTube video. Again, I'll move these around, and it's super simple to move. But you can see how I'm already having a pretty interesting flow right here already. And then one thing I did not know beacons could do, and it might actually be the selling point for me to actually jump on this, is that you could have different pages. And literally at the top here is a little menu, and that brings up, I guess let me just open up a new tab. It brings up all the other pages. So if I want to share my Content Polymath one or the gaming one, it's all right there. And then it will switch over to that. It's not made yet, but it switch over to that. And the cool thing about it is I can have separate link trees, which I was already making separate link trees in the first place, or not link trees, but link in bios for each of my different brands. Now they can all be connected through the menu. And then I could also probably change the branding a little bit, like the colors for each page, hopefully. And so this is a great way to keep it all together, but also have individual pages. And so I can have the Content Polymath newsletter and podcast separate from my actual main channel stuff. And so I find that this tool also has the ability to, let me see if I can add a block, embed like products, which then will allow me to start selling my own products. First off, digital products, so like my templates, but also the affiliate products as well, which I just think is really interesting. So these are all the different tools that I'm interested in trying out and using at the moment. And since I'm looking heavily into fourth wall, and then beacons and mini chats are actually going to help grow that brand that I'm building with fourth wall, it's a very circular system here. And all the videos you're going to see in this post are going to be related towards building a clothing line, building a merch brand, building out your fourth wall, that kind of thing. So I hope that this video is helpful to you because, I'm planning out content ahead of time. I'm doing a unique way of doing it. And I'm also trying to build out my merch line, which I think will be helpful for a lot of creators like you who want to find another way of monetization. Always diversify your income streams. And this is the way I'm trying to go forward. I have affiliate marketing, I have memberships, but now I'm going to try to get the merch. And I think that's going to be a huge game changer for me. If you like this, let me know. Leave a comment down below. Otherwise, have a good day.